everyone. Welcome to the Breaking Moment podcast. My name is Regine Bowe, and I am a social worker who wants to give you hope, encourage you, and help you feel less alone in your healing journey. This podcast is dedicated to helping you heal, learn, and grow to become a better version of yourself. Through education and personal experience, I will discuss topics around mental health and spirituality. So, let's get started on today's episode. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Breaking Moment podcast. I am your host, Regine Bowe, and we are now on episode 11. Last week, we did not have episode because your girl was tired. And this is going to tie into our episode of today, which we're going to talk about things to remember during the holiday seasons, because holidays are a lot. While they can be fun, they can be a whole lot. So before we talk about today's episode, I hope that you guys had a good Christmas, whether you overcame a fear during the Christmas season, being around family, or overcoming anxiety. I hope that your Christmas was good, and I hope that your holiday seasons are well. I hope that you are giving yourself credit, because holiday seasons aren't easy. And as we finish the holiday season, I just wanted us to remember a couple of things. As we know, the holidays are fun. Christmas involves getting gifts. New Year's is about, resetting, seeing how we can start the new year, hanging with family and friends, maybe going out, having a good time. It's different for everyone, but there are some people that struggle during the holiday season, myself included, and I just want to talk a little bit about that today. We're going to talk about why holidays are stressful for people. We're going to go over some steps on how to manage holiday stress and anxiety, and we're just going to end with some reminders for the holiday season. So, according to an article by SAMHSA, which is Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, it is very common to feel added stress. And this stress can worsen symptoms of mental health conditions such as depression or anxiety or a substance use disorder. So it's normal to feel stress, but when you struggle with a mental health condition on top of all the holiday stress, it can make it worse. So as someone that struggles with anxiety during the holiday season, it's 1,000 times worse, because you have to think about it. Your mental health condition doesn't go away for the holidays, right? It doesn't take a vacation, even though you're on vacation. I never even thought of it that way. It's kind of funny because it's like, we get excited. If we do, some of us get excited for the holiday because it's like, yes, time off work and all that good stuff. But we never get a vacation from those things, like the mental health conditions. They're with us all the time. So if this is you, like you have really bad depression, anxiety, substance use disorder, bipolar, OCD, whatever the case may be, it can worsen during this time because it doesn't go away. So you already are dealing with your normal day-to-day stresses. And now adding this on top of the load is the holiday stress. What are you going to get people? Oh, you got to be around this family member. Oh, you got to be around these friends. Oh my gosh, I got to cook all this food, da 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 da. So it is very common. And I always like to say these things so that you don't feel alone, because we can feel alone. Like I said the other day, I just felt super overwhelmed. I finished my work week and it was time to start the holiday season. I did not start shopping. And I'm usually a person that starts shopping early because I don't like stressing about what I'm going to get everyone the day before. But this year was a little different, and I did get, I think I finished my last bit of shopping the day before Christmas Eve, which, like I said, usually I'm more ahead of it, but something about this year was just a lot. So if that's you, it's okay. The main thing is I got it done. I got people what I felt that they needed, but that was within my price range. I spent time with the family with respect to my boundaries. So it's just important to remember that holiday seasons might not look the same every year, especially if you lost someone. You're grieving someone. Maybe you were in a relationship last year and this year you're not. That's going to be different. It's going to add more stress and anxiety and depression to the season. So, and I'll say this more probably towards the end as well, If you're looking at someone's highlight on Instagram or whatever social media, because I think we all do it, because I felt myself doing it. And this is why I talk about these things. Like, oh, everyone's having a fun Christmas. And here I am stressing about this or stressing about what I'm going to get everyone. Or I haven't even started my shopping yet. And here it is. This person has all their gifts under their tree. So, doesn't matter. You're doing the best you can. And that's good enough. If you got your gifts the day of Christmas, you got them, right? And this year maybe you didn't get gifts. Then you didn't get gifts. That's the thing about this. Like when we struggle with anxiety and the depression and all these things, it feels in that moment like it's just so much and like you're not going to make it through. But I'm here to tell you, you are. Christmas isn't going to be here forever. Meaning, as soon as Christmas passes, then New Year's is here. Then after New Year's, then another holiday will be present. We can get caught up in this moment of worrying so much that it feels like we can't do it. We feel like so overwhelmed. But I think it's so important just to remember that it's going to pass. And all you could do is your best. Your best is good enough. Your best is good enough. Okay, I got a little off track, but I just wanted to say that. So also from this article by SAMHSA, which is the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration. So there was a survey conducted by the National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI, found that 64% of individuals living with a mental illness reported that their conditions worsened around the holidays, whether it's due to separation from loved ones, personal grief, the pressures of gift giving, economic hardships, challenging interactions with family members. This time of year really can bring unique behavior health challenges. So that's just a survey conducted by them. I'm sure there's more surveys that support this. It's a tough time for everyone. But those that struggle with mental illness, those that don't struggle with mental illness, just give yourself some grace during this season and really do your best. You don't have to make all the food. Say someone wants to help you, but you're that person that's like, I got to do it all. Let people help you. Or maybe your Christmas list is like 5 pages long because you have to get so many people things. Break it down. Like, it's really important to just do what you can. Like, yeah, if you look at that whole list, it's going to feel overwhelming, but what can you do to break it down? Or maybe you have so much things on your list that are so expensive. Maybe see if you can figure something out where you don't have to give expensive gifts, because the main important thing about the holiday season, I believe, is just being in the present moment and being there with people you love and care about. Because the older we get, and I feel this from experience, like, yeah, when I was younger, I wanted gifts. But it was crazy how this year, and I don't know if anyone else has felt this, but this year felt like I just wasn't in the spirit, meaning it didn't hit me that it was really Christmas, even on Christmas Day. Usually I would feel it. I hear the Christmas songs on the radio. I see the lights. I would kind of get there. But for some reason, even on the day of Christmas, I still just didn't feel it. And I would say the thing that made me feel the most in the spirit was giving to others. So yes, giving my gifts to my family and friends, but actually me and my mom and my cousin, we made platters and we made stockings that had like candy and snacks and socks and gloves. And we went around the neighborhood and we handed them out to those that were homeless or those that wanted them, that were walking. And that was probably the most rewarding thing I did this Christmas, because it just felt good to give to others that were less fortunate. And I'm not saying that you have to do that, but just sometimes the meaning of Christmas or the holidays change as we get older. So it's about also figuring out what works for you. Like I said, this year, just opening gifts weren't the same for me. I was big on giving this year. And that is it kind of relieved my stress, actually. Like, because I knew I was giving to those that were less fortunate. And they were so grateful and thankful. So my holiday season was a little different this year. Like, I didn't do that last year, but this year I did. And that's what made it better for me. So it's all about figuring out what works for you. Because sometimes traditions can push stress on you, sometimes doing the same thing can. So sometimes it is okay to shake it up and change things up. It's all about what works for you. So, some of the pressures that are associated with the holidays: gift giving. What are you going to give everyone? Especially when you have someone that's like, I don't know, I don't care. Like, they might not, like, I feel like kids might give you a list, like, they have a list of what they want, but maybe if you have a friend that's your age, or an adult, or a parent, or whatever, it's more of like, oh, it doesn't matter, or they might not have something they want. And I feel like those are sometimes the most challenging people to shop for, because you might know a little bit about them, about what they want, but like that's just a big umbrella of what you can get them. Like, they didn't even narrow it down, like, oh, I like food. So then you can go, oh, I can think about what food they like. I can give them a gift card. But if they say it doesn't matter, it can be overwhelming not knowing exactly what you're going to give someone. So just gift giving can give us so much pressure, make us feel so much pressure during the holidays. Spending time with family and friends. This is a big one, because say you are away and you are coming home for the holidays. So meaning you don't live in the same hometown as your family and friends. Or maybe you're in college and you're visiting home. Or maybe you travel a lot and now you're visiting home. Whatever the case may be, sometimes spending time with family and friends can create pressures, because what if you had a tough childhood and now every time you go home to your same hometown and the same house you grew up in, it triggers you because of all the things that maybe are that you are healing, or maybe that are unhealed. That can put pressure on you. Or maybe there's expectations that you feel like you have to have when you go around your family and friends. So all these things can put pressure on you. Cooking. I can say I'm not really the cooker, meaning I'll cook, but when it comes to holidays, I let my mom do her thing. And she loves cooking, so it works out. But for some people that take on that responsibility, that can be stressful, because especially when I even think about Thanksgiving, like, you got to put the turkey in at a certain time, then you got the ham, then you got the stuffing, then you got the mashed potatoes, and you got the macaroni, and then you got the dessert. It's a lot of food, and it's, say people are coming at 2 and you got to start at this time so that you can have it done at this time. Like, it's a lot of prepping, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of energy. So cooking can definitely put pressure on you. Spending money. As we know, the economy now and the prices of things is no joke. So spending money can definitely put pressure, especially if you are struggling. And I think it's important to be honest with yourself. This is something that I had to do, and I have to continuously do, is I'm the type of person, like, if someone wants something, if my little brother said, hey, I want this, I'm going to do my best to get him that. But I also try to set that boundary with myself. Like, I'm not going to still, even though I love him and care for him, and he wants 10 things on his list that all add up to this, I'm not getting him everything on that list, because I have to be smart about the rest of my week. I have to be smart about my bills. I have to be smart about what I can afford. Yes, I want to spend all this money on these people that I love, but I need to be smart about how I spend it, because I still have to pay bills. I still have to support myself and all that good stuff. So spending money can definitely put a lot of pressure, especially if you are struggling, or even if you're on a budget, or just balancing it, because the way the world is now, everything is so expensive that it's just so expensive. So another pressure is decorating. Some people go all out, like, and I mean all out, and I love it, especially when I'm driving and I can see people like decorating their houses, and they have like the lights outside, and they have the different props outside, and even when you go inside their house, it's so decorated, and I love it. But that can put pressure on you, like, especially one, if you don't decorate and you're having people come over, so you feel pressure to decorate. Or maybe you are always good at decorating and each year you want to get better at it, so you're putting pressure on yourself to be better and better and better. So decorating can also put pressure on us. Another thing that can put pressure on us is societal pressures. I feel like this is big, because I remember sometimes not feeling in, like, kind of how I felt this year. Um, I just didn't feel like in the spirit, kind of like it just didn't feel like Christmas to me. And I would put that pressure, like, everyone else is in the spirit, I need to be in the spirit. Maybe it was December, like maybe it wasn't even like December 25th, but it's December 1st, and people are starting to put lights up and getting excited, and I wasn't excited yet. So here I am, I should I should be in the spirit. I should be excited for Christmas. 2 weeks before, I'm still not there. I should. Everyone else is posting pictures and getting ready. I should do that. Why? Or people are posting on Christmas that they had so much fun and that they're happy and they're in the spirit. And maybe I wasn't. Not saying wasn't happy, but saying maybe I wasn't in the spirit, or maybe saying that I had fun in a different way as them. However you enjoy Christmas, or however you enjoy New Year's, or however you enjoy your holidays is how you enjoy it. Don't let the social media highlights, as I talk about a lot, fool you, because you don't know what a picture really holds. It can look like it's all amazing, but you don't know if that person was triggered the whole time because they had to be with family and friends that they struggle to be around. You don't know if that person that posted the picture just spent all their money because they were just trying to impress their family. You don't know if somebody posted a picture with their family and they didn't want to be there because they're grieving their dad or somebody. Like, you just really don't know what people are going through. So don't let the societal pressure of, I have to be happy on Christmas. You might not be happy on Christmas. You know why? Because you might have lost someone that you spend Christmas with every year. You might not be happy on Christmas. Why? Because you're struggling with money. And I keep saying Christmas, but I mean holidays, because it can be any holiday that you feel this way. So just don't let societal pressures pressure you. And another pressure that are associated with the holidays is trying to be perfect, trying to have things perfect. The food's got to taste perfect. The decorations got to be perfect. The presents got to be wrapped. Now, this is the one. Now, let me be honest with you guys. Like, I'm not going to say I'm the worst gift wrapper. I think I'm average. But I know some people that gift wrap perfectly, and that's great. I started to get that way. Like, I got to do it perfect. But now I'm like, I see what my nieces and my cousin and everyone does with the gifts. And it's like, they're just going to rip them up on the December 25th. So I'm going to do my best wrapping. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to just hand them garbage, because it does matter. What's in it matters more than what's around it. So little things like, I got to have the wrapping perfect. I have to have the food perfect. I got to have the decorations perfect. I got to dress perfect. Like, nobody's perfect. So you're already putting unnecessary pressure on yourself. If you go in with, I'm going to do my best, it'll get you. It's crazy how saying, the way we talk to ourselves can go a long way. Like, if you say to yourself, I have to be perfect at this, you could just feel the stress, like, just consume you. You could just feel it. It's present, the stress. But when you say, I'm going to do my best at this, I'm going to do my best at this, I'm going to do my best with cooking today, I'm going to do my best with gift wrapping, it changes the game. It's all about how you talk to yourself. I said this a lot in a lot of episodes, but don't try to be perfect. Just do your best. Everyone's doing their best. You do your best. Don't feel this unnecessary pressure. And there's many pressures that are associated with the holidays, but like, this is just a couple that I could think of. So if you are feeling these pressures, try to find ways that you don't have to feel this pressure. Balancing it, talking yourself through it, being honest with yourself, giving yourself compassion, giving yourself grace. It's hard. It can be hard. It can be tough during this time. Don't feel like, I shouldn't feel this way. Why not? You feel the way you do. Remember, the only way to get past the thing is accepting it. Just give yourself grace this holiday season. So we're going to talk about some steps on how to manage holiday anxiety and stress. So these are according to the American Psychiatric Association, an article by them. Practice mindfulness and meditation. Big thing with mindfulness is being non-judgmental. So if you're feeling all these emotions, like, oh my gosh, my Aunt Betty's coming, I cannot stand Aunt Betty, she just irks me, she always wants to argue with me, I just can't deal with Aunt Betty, I think I'm gonna need a break when Aunt Betty gets here. Like, I'm gonna have to take like a 5-minute break when she gets here just to regroup myself. Then do that. Be mindful in the moment. If you feel yourself tensing up, you feel yourself getting aggravated with Aunt Betty, and you need to step away, because what's going to be worse is you just building up and then you getting triggered, and then it could lead to you lashing out. Like, if you can prevent something from happening, do your best to do that. So practicing mindfulness, being in the present moment. So if you feel yourself boiling because you're angry about what someone said, if you feel yourself anxious because there's people there that you don't want to be around, if you feel yourself fearful because you don't know what's going to happen, if you feel yourself excited because you're going to see people you haven't seen, whatever you feel, be in that moment and don't judge yourself, because this season brings these different feelings. And mindfulness is all about being present. You know, what's around you? What do you see? What do you smell? What do you hear? What do you taste? All that good stuff. But just being in the moment without judging yourself for it. There's some really good, I actually used a meditation the other day. It was on YouTube. It was like a 5-minute meditation. That's it, 5 minutes. And it helped me get up the one morning. I was just struggling, and I put it on, and I just allowed myself to be in the present moment. I was able to really pay attention to how I was feeling in that day. And I was able to just listen to myself and validate how I was feeling, but also the things around me. And that kind of just helped me start my day because I was aware of what I already felt. So when I interacted with people, I didn't lash out at them because I already knew that I felt that way going into it. So mindfulness is really important, and meditation. So whatever you do to help you, I would definitely try to practice that during this holiday season. Another step is to prevent burnout. And to prevent burnout is to say no. We did an episode about people pleasing and about the importance of no. If you cannot do it, say no. Because at the end of the day, you matter, and how you feel matters. So if you feel like you are extremely anxious, like 1 to 10, you are at like a 10, you are at a 9, you cannot say no. And if they don't understand, then so be it. You know what I mean? Like, there comes a time where you have to look out for yourself and look out what's best for you. And if saying no hurts someone's feelings, then it is what it is. Because saying no to them is saying yes to yourself. Maybe you just can't do it today. That's okay. Say no. Maybe you already have so much on your plate and you just can't cook because you just got off of work, or you just dealt with the kids, or you just are overwhelmed and you just want to relax. Say no. Be honest. The worst you could do is put so much on your plate until you just can't do anything anymore. The worst you could do is the one episode I talked about, fill everyone else's cup but yourself. And then you're the one that's going to suffer, right? You're the one that's going to feel exhausted and drained and burnt out and emotionally just done, physically done, spiritually done, and drained in all those aspects. So say no. If you can't do it, say no. If it's too much, say no, I can't. I'm sorry. And I hope they understand. And if they don't, at least sometimes saying no is extremely hard. Like I said, that's something I still struggle with. But what gets me through it is knowing I said yes to myself. Because it's not like I'm saying no just to be mean. I'm saying no because I need to say yes to me. I need to fill my cup. I need to rest. I need to be by myself for a minute. And that's okay. Another step is to take a break. Like I said, if Aunt Betty's doing too much, and you can feel yourself about to snap on Betty, but you are the better version of you, and you worked hard, and you are at your higher self, and you don't want to go back to your lower self and to the old you, take a break. Aunt Betty is just doing too much. I need to go for a walk. Okay, go take your walk, come back, and try again. Taking breaks are important, and they're very helpful. Get some fresh air and sunlight. This goes a long way. Sometimes getting away from what is causing the trigger will help you to regroup yourself and then help you to go back if you want to. But fresh air, sunlight is big. If you are in therapy, maybe making sure to schedule an appointment the week of, the day before, the day after. I know sometimes it's kind of tricky with holidays because offices are closed, but maybe if you can get an appointment the week before, definitely utilize therapy because it can help you to manage the stress and how you're feeling and give you some tools, and just let someone listen to you and about how you're feeling and hopefully guide you to the right way to approach it. If you don't go to therapy, seeking out a friend or a family member that you feel close with that supports you and discussing your anxieties or your holiday stress or whatever you're going through with them. So it doesn't have to be a therapist, but maybe someone you are really close with, family, friend. And Another step is for those that are struggling with grief and loss, try to celebrate your loved ones by telling stories or maybe trying to start a new tradition with other family members for that family member or friend. Try to see it in a different way. Like, yes, it's extremely hard. You can't take that away, but maybe we can get together and all tell stories, our favorite story or favorite time with this person. Or maybe we can all go to the gravesite and light a candle and tell our stories. But grief and loss is extremely hard. And the last steps, those that are struggling with like financial stress, try to avoid overspending. Try to utilize like a secret Santa and set a limit. Like, hey, everyone try to buy something for $10, $15, $20, whatever the number may be, so that you don't feel pressure to get everyone something at a certain amount. Maybe utilizing a secret Santa, and you can construct it how you want, however much money you want. Or you could try to do like homemade gifts and stuff like that so that you're not feeling like you have to overspend. So, as this episode comes to an end, I have a couple reminders for you for this holiday season. You are not alone. You are not alone in this moment. You are not alone with holiday anxiety. You are not alone with grieving the loss of someone. You are not alone if you're not in the holiday spirit. You are not alone if you just want to lay in bed and not deal with anyone. You are not alone if you don't want to be around anyone. You are not alone if you are super excited for the seasons. Wherever you are, you are not alone in anything you do. There are many people that struggle with holiday season. There are many people that are going through what you're going through this holiday season. Just try not to get lost in how you should feel. Don't get lost in what people are posting, because how you feel is valid to you. If you're feeling depressed, you're feeling depressed. You know you don't have to sit there and let it take over you, but you're feeling that way for a reason. If you're feeling anxious, you're feeling anxious. No, you don't have to let it consume you, but you're feeling that way for a reason. Maybe dig it deeper. Why am I feeling this way? And then utilizing some things that you can help you during that time. But don't feel pressure to feel like everyone else, because you feel the way you do for a reason. Other people didn't go through what you go through. Your story is different than theirs. So remember that. Another reminder is don't put pressure on yourself. They kind of go in hand. Just do your best, because that's all you can do. You don't have to have the most expensive gift to be loved. You don't have to make the most food to be loved. You don't have to overload your plate during the holiday season so everyone will love you. You don't have to do these things. Just do what you can do, and that's enough. Another reminder, be truthful with yourself and what you can handle. If you only have the strength to get up and go see your family for 15 minutes, then just do that. You showed up. That's better than nothing. Or maybe this year you just don't have the strength to do it. Be honest with yourself, because at the end of the day, sometimes, yes, we can push ourselves, but sometimes we have to respect what we can handle. Maybe we're really going through a rough time and the best thing for you is to be alone. Or maybe it's best to maybe have one person come over to your house, but the thought of having 15 family members come over is too much. You have to be truthful to what you can handle and what you can do, and that's okay. If you can't afford a specific thing, be honest, because at the end of the day, you buying this $300 gift or whatever, are you going to struggle the rest of the week? Are you going to beat yourself up and say, dang it, why did I spend that much money? Now I can't pay my electric bill. Be truthful with yourself. Another reminder, and this kind of goes in hand with the other one, set your boundaries and keep your boundaries. So don't set them and then say, oh, but I just gotta do this now because they're here. No, the boundaries, remember what boundaries are. They're there to protect you. They're there to keep you safe. They're there to protect your mental, emotional, spiritual, physical well-being. So if you have to put a boundary up for somebody or something, then do it, because that's going to help you get through it. The more you let people tear down your boundaries and the more you don't respect your boundaries is when we start to feel more anxious and depressed, because now you're showing yourself that your boundaries don't matter. Everyone else's matter. So now that anxiety is going to take over you because you have nothing to keep you safe. You're letting anyone and everyone. Remember we talked about I kind of explained the boundary in terms of using a outside image. So like a fence. So if you take the fence down, then I'm sure things can get on your yard, right? But if you keep your fence up, it's going to protect your house. It's going to protect you and your yard. So the moment you put your boundaries down for this person, and then now you put it down for that person, now everyone's going to keep coming in and coming out. And then you're going to feel overwhelmed because you're letting any and everyone in your energy, any and everyone in your bubble. So you have to protect yourself. And another reminder is, remember, this moment will pass. Sometimes when I get so anxious, which usually happens a lot, like every day, my anxiety can be very bad in the morning. So I know mornings for me I have to be super compassionate with myself. I have to be super non-judgmental and just being present and doing my best. And something that helps me is this moment will pass. You know why? Because at the end of the day, when I think of every morning when I get up and I'm super anxious for the day, it passes. The mornings might be hard, but then by the time I get to afternoon, I'm fine. And then guess what? The same thing happens the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day. It's going to pass. So even though it's still hard to believe it in that moment, I keep telling myself that because it is the truth. The truth is it will pass. So the truth is for you, this will pass. This season will pass. It won't always be Christmas, because next after Christmas comes New Year's. And it won't always be New Year's, because then after New Year's comes another holiday, and then another holiday, and then another holiday. But before we get to each holiday, there's a time where there's no holiday, right? So this moment will pass, the season will pass. Keep telling yourself that. Just try to be in the present moment the best you can. I know it might be hard and you might not even want to be in the present moment, but it's going to help you get through it. Try to be in the present moment. Try to just take in what you can and understand what you can in this moment and move forward from there. And the last reminder is to utilize your coping skills and your self-care routine during this time. So your coping skills, maybe you like to journal. Maybe that helps you calm down. Maybe walking helps you calm down. Maybe a favorite show. Maybe a podcast. Maybe reading. Maybe drawing. Whatever your skill is that helps you, make sure to use it during this time. If you know during this time you feel a little bit more stressed, if you feel a little bit more anxious, you feel a little bit more depressed, use your coping skills. They're there to help you cope with your emotions and what you're going through. And make sure to keep using your self-care routine, which could have your coping skills in it. Maybe your self-care routine is getting up and walking, getting up and speaking affirmations to yourself. Utilize it during this time, especially because this time can be a little bit more stressful. As we close today, I want to say happy holidays to you and your family. And I know the holiday season is ending, but I just want you to remember these things going forward. Or if you ever need to listen to this episode when another holiday season comes, just keep this in mind that holiday seasons are stressful for a lot of people. Don't feel the pressure that you have to do a thing. You have to feel a certain way because your feelings are valid to you and you're feeling the way you do for a reason. All you can do is figure out what you need in that moment and don't pressure yourself. I want you to have a happy new year and I want you to focus on all your progress because you aren't where you used to be. Think about it. Who you were in January, I'm sure, is not who you are now in December going into the new year. So be proud of yourself and your growth, and I'm proud of you and your growth. And remember to take care of yourself during the holiday season. And I hope that this season is a good season for you. I hope you have a great new year. And this is crazy. So this is crazy that, we're finishing another year because this year has gone by so fast. I don't know about for anybody else, but I think it's gone by fast and slow in some aspects. But I just want to say that the Breaking Moment podcast is proud of you. Regine is proud of you if you haven't heard it today. And I will see you guys in the new year. We will talk again in the new year. And I'm super excited for what this podcast has in store for the new year. In 2024, I'm very excited to see how we can continue to grow and how I can continue to help you guys become a better version of you. And you can listen to the Breaking Moment podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. You can also follow me on my Instagram page at the Breaking Moment podcast, where I'll post different things to encourage you throughout the week and to let you know when new episodes come out. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure. Happy New Year, and I will talk to you guys next year. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Breaking Moment podcast. If this information was helpful, Please share it with others. And if you enjoy listening, subscribe to the podcast so you can get the latest episodes. You can listen to the Breaking Moment podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. Until then, I will see y'all next week.